If you're in your 20s or 30s, this video is for you. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 financial mistakes that you should avoid. I went from washing dishes and making $15,000 per year to becoming a millionaire by the age of 28. But there were a ton of mistakes that I made that I could have easily avoided, which is why I wanted to share this with you guys today. The first mistake I would avoid making is ignoring your credit score. Did you know that ignoring your credit score can literally make or break your financial dreams? One of the biggest impacts that your credit score can have is getting a mortgage or getting a car loan. So take a look at this. Someone with a 580 credit score versus someone with an 800 credit score. The difference can literally be life-changing. So let's take a look at 2 people. Let's call them Bill and John. John wants to buy a house but is having trouble getting approved for a mortgage because his credit score is at 580. Because of his low credit score, he's considered a high-risk borrower. So this means he's gonna pay a way higher interest rate on his mortgage, costing him thousands of dollars in interest charged over the course of that loan. Now meet Bill. Bill has a credit score of over 800 and is in the market for a house and is applying for the same mortgage as John. However, Bill is considered a low-risk borrower because of his excellent credit score. So that means he's gonna qualify for a lower interest rate, saving him thousands of dollars in interest charges over the life of that loan. So Bill can use the money that he saved over the interest charges to renovate his home, invest in his future, etc. So let's say that Bill and John want to buy a $500,000 house with a 30-year mortgage. John is a high-risk borrower, so he gets a 6.7% interest rate, while Bill is considered a low-risk borrower and his comes out to 5.1%. Over the course of the loan, John would pay $250,000 in interest, while Bill would pay around $190,000, which is a savings of $60,000.
I gotta do it, man.
Now, the difference between John and Bill is staggering, but it's not impossible to improve your credit score. So the first thing that I would do is start by checking your credit report for any errors or discrepancies. You can dispute any errors that you find and get them corrected. You can also monitor your credit score regularly to make sure it's accurate and also to keep track of your progress. By taking control of your credit score, you can save thousands of dollars in interest charges and open up new opportunities for your financial future. So invest the time to increase your credit score today. The second biggest mistake to avoid is not having an emergency fund. This topic is something that a lot of people overlook when it comes to their finances. Life is unpredictable and emergencies can happen at any time, whether that's a natural disaster, a medical emergency, or some sort of job loss.
No! God, please, no! No!
And these unexpected events can leave you feeling overwhelmed or financially drained. Without an emergency fund, you might find yourself struggling to make ends meet, taking on high interest debt, or having to rely on the generosity of others. This can affect your mental and physical health, your job, and even your relationships. But there is good news. By setting up an emergency fund, you can protect yourself from the unexpected and avoid falling into a financial trap. An emergency fund is simply a savings account that you set up specifically for emergencies. Having an emergency fund gives you peace of mind and the confidence to handle any unexpected expenses that come your way. So let's go over some actionable strategies that you can use to build up your emergency fund. First, you need to figure out how much you need in your emergency fund. So as a general rule of thumb, you should aim to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of your living expenses. This will give you a safety net in case of any emergencies. So once you know how much you need to save, the next step is to create a budget. Look at your income and expenses and find areas where you can cut back. You'd be surprised how much you can save simply just by looking at your bank statements. Whether that's reducing your eating out budget or canceling a subscription service that you're not using anymore.
To repent, we must stop frivolous spending.
Whatever it is, even a little bit helps. Another strategy is to automate your savings. You do this by setting up a recurring transfer from your checking account to your emergency fund on a monthly basis. So this way you don't have to remember to transfer the money each month, and it's gonna be a lot easier to making saving a habit. The most important way to build up your emergency fund is to increase your income. So this means taking on a side hustle or selling extra items that you no longer need. Some examples are affiliate marketing, Airbnb arbitrage, going on eBay, reselling things, etc. You can also consider opening up a high yield savings account. So these accounts offer higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts, which means you can earn more money on your emergency fund over time. I'm personally using Wealthfront and Betterment, and they're currently paying me over 4% at the time of this recording. Remember, building up an emergency fund takes time and discipline, but I promise you it's worth it for your peace of mind. So start small and be consistent, and before you know it, you're gonna have a solid emergency fund to rely on when you need it most. The third biggest financial mistake is not considering the impact of inflation on your investments. Inflation is one of those sneaky thieves that a lot of people don't consider when it comes to their investments. What inflation does is it quietly erodes the value of your money over time, making it worth less and less as time goes on. So let's take a look at what the purchasing power of $1 million will look like in 30 years. Over the past 3 decades, the inflation rate in the US has averaged about 2.3% per year. So if we assume the same rate for the next 30 years, the value of $1 million is going to decline significantly. So without inflation, $1 million would maintain its value over time. But after 30 years, the purchasing power of $1 million would be worth approximately $300,000. So obviously that's a substantial loss in purchasing power, and it highlights the importance of accounting for inflation when planning for your financial future. So how do you prevent this sneaky little thief from stealing your hard-earned money? And you do this by investing in assets that outpace the inflation rate. This can include stocks, my personal favorite, real estate, and also precious metals like gold and silver.
Gold.
These investments have historically had higher returns than the rate of inflation. Another option is inflation-adjusted bonds, and these bonds have interest rates that adjust with inflation. So that way you don't have to worry about your money losing value. You can also look at annuities with an inflation rider. Just make sure to invest in assets that beat the rate of inflation and protect the value of your money. The fourth biggest financial mistake is not investing in yourself. Investing in your education and personal development is key to unlocking your full potential and achieving your goals. Investing in yourself isn't just a financial decision, it's a life-changing one. Because by investing in yourself, you're not just improving your financial situation, you're also investing into your future. You're creating a path to success that's going to have ripple effects on every aspect of your life. And the best part, you don't need to be rich or have a lot of free time to invest in yourself. Literally anyone can do this with the right mindset and commitment to growth. So let's first look at the S&P 500, which has an average annual return of 10%. If someone were to invest $100 per month for 2 years, they would have invested a total of $2,400. So with a 10% annual return, their investment would grow to approximately $2,860 after 2 years. So now let's take a look at someone who invested into their self-education. So if they invested $2,400 into learning a new skill or business, and we're gonna give them some time, so let's say they start making money after a year. So 1 year after acquiring the necessary knowledge and skills, they start earning $75,000 per year from that skill. So the difference between these two investments is over $72,000. I see way too many people worry about investing into passive income streams way too early, when instead they should be focused on increasing their active income. So with that being said, there are a lot of effective ways to invest in yourself through education and personal development. Let's take a look at a few of my personal favorites. The first is taking online programs or attending workshops. Online programs and workshops are a great way to learn new skills and stay up to date with industry trends. There are a lot of free and paid programs available. Just make sure that you fit one that fits your budget and schedule. And if you're gonna go the paid route, make sure that you do your due diligence on the person that you're purchasing the program from. The next way is to read books and listen to podcasts. This is a great way to get valuable insights, knowledge, and inspiration to help you grow personally and professionally.
Interesting.
You can also join networking groups or mentorship programs. The thing I love about these is you can get connected with like-minded individuals who can provide you guidance and support. They can also help you build valuable relationships and lead to new opportunities. One of the most important things that a lot of people neglect is to practice self-care, because investing in yourself also means taking care of yourself. Make sure that you get enough sleep, exercise regularly, and also take time to relax and recharge. Also, if you're not setting goals and tracking your progress, then you don't know how much progress you've actually made. This is also going to help you stay motivated and focused on your personal and financial growth. And remember, investing in yourself isn't just some one-time thing. It's a continuous progress, and it's about taking small steps every single day towards your personal and financial growth. The fifth biggest financial mistake is not budgeting. I see way too many people out there struggling with finances, and do you often find yourself overspending and racking up a bunch of debt? Well, the thing is, you're not alone, because this is pretty common. A lot of people struggle with managing their finances and prioritizing budgeting. So we're gonna go over the importance of budgeting and how it can help you take control of your financial future. So according to a recent study, people who don't budget are also way more likely to experience financial stress, have lower credit scores, and also struggle to save for retirement. So by neglecting to budget, you're not only hurting your present finances, but you're also putting your future financial stability at risk. Now, one of my favorite budgeting rules is called the 50-30-20 rule. But I like to play with the numbers a little bit to accelerate you to financial freedom even faster. So what is the 50-30-20 rule? You put 50% for necessities, 30% for discretionary spending, and finally, the remaining 20% goes towards savings. And obviously, you can adjust this depending on your desired lifestyle and other obligations. Now, the ratios that I use to supercharge my growth look like this. 60% went towards savings and investments, 30% went to necessities, and then 10% went to discretionary spending.
Inconceivable.
Now, before you say that's impossible, I promise you it's not. There are a ton of ways to decrease your monthly spend, and we're gonna talk about that here in a second. So for most people, your mortgage or your rent is gonna be the highest expense every month. Me and my wife use a strategy called house hacking, where we bought a 4-unit property with little money down, and then we lived in one of the units and then rented out the rest. So we were literally getting paid a couple $100 to live at our house. So what this did was eliminated our biggest monthly expense, which allowed us to put more money towards our savings and investments. So before you start this exercise, make sure you know exactly where your take-home pay is before starting any calculations. Now here's the real kicker. Budgeting doesn't have to be boring or restrictive. In fact, a lot of the times it can be empowering and even fun. So by setting financial goals and tracking your progress, you're gonna feel a sense of accomplishment and control over your finances, and here's how you can do it. So the first thing you wanna do is start by tracking your expenses. It's the same thing with losing weight. You wanna track every single calorie that's coming into your body. The same thing goes for budgeting. So again, start by tracking all your expenses like bills, food, transportation, etc. This is gonna help you see how much money you're spending and also where you need to cut back. Once you have a clear understanding of your expenses, it's time to create a budget. So start by listing your income and then subtracting your expenses. And also make sure to leave some room for unexpected expenses and savings. Remember, the key to successful budgeting is to create a plan that works for you. Now, the next thing you wanna do is cut back on unnecessary expenses. So look for areas where you can save money, such as eating out less, canceling subscriptions you don't use, or just finding cheaper alternatives on your regular monthly expenses. So the next thing is to prioritize your spending. When it comes to budgeting, it's important to prioritize your spending as much as possible. Now, finally, review and adjust your budget regularly. Of course, your income and your expenses are gonna change over time, so it's important to keep your budget up to date. Now, I get it, budgeting may seem like a chore at first, but it's actually a really powerful tool for taking control of your finances and achieving your goals. So with the right mindset and a little bit of discipline, you're gonna be amazed at how much progress you can make. By utilizing and implementing these steps, I was able to go from living in my mom's basement to becoming a multi-millionaire in just a few years. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Talk to you soon.